Ways to make really bad technology decisions. Do you feel like a child in a candy store when you look at new technologies? Do you get thrilled to explore every breakthrough that comes out? Is it possible that a leader in your firm is willing to take risks with technology and choose providers without conducting adequate research and making appropriate preparations? Or could it be that the procurement manager, the project management office, or business stakeholders subjected the technology selections to such arduous investigation that your firm is now left in the wake of innovation but is unable to go forward because it is dependent on legacy platforms? These different types of technology buyers are prevalent in many different types of businesses, and their presence can impede the capacity of technology leaders to make intelligent and timely technology purchases. Accept executive input as a final decision. When the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, or another influential executive requests the technology team to purchase and deploy a certain technological solution, it is essential to go back a few stages to comprehend the reasoning behind the request. Which challenge is this leader attempting to conquer, and to what extent does the proposed answer live up to the hype? All too frequently, I hear tech leaders accept the executive's voice as an edict without taking any action to rationalize the approach or give alternative options. This is something that bothers me to no end. The discipline of developing and presenting one-page vision statements that focus on an issue, opportunity, or value proposition could be one solution to the problem. This could be a solution that is created. Vision statements that have been developed effectively outline objectives without providing specifics on how those objectives will be achieved or how they will be implemented. Even if the IT team fills this out on behalf of the executive, it usually leads to a discussion and disagreement on the various available options. Fail to request or take into consideration the feedback of the customers. When we get too far ahead of ourselves with implementations, as technologists, we are prone to making the same mistakes that executives do. We are aware of the issue, we have a plan to address it, and we feel compelled to move quickly to put the plan into action. Unfortunately, if we do not include the customer's voice in the decision-making process or understand the benefits, or lack thereof, to the consumer, it will be much easier for us to supply capabilities that do not meet their expectations. In many cases, corporations don't even bother to properly define the client for the many technology projects they undertake. When you are designing end-user apps, it is easier to define a client if you first define roles and personas for that consumer. When examining back-end capabilities, such as infrastructure, security capabilities, middleware, libraries, or web services, however, it may be more difficult to locate a customer role. However, technicians are an integral component of the company as well. When it comes to the implementation of back-end technologies, architects, business analysts, and technology leads can all play the role of proxies for the customer role. Ask them to submit requirements, determine acceptance criteria, decide on trade-offs, and score how satisfied they are with the solution that has been executed. Ignore the norms and technology that are already in place. Throughout their existence, departments of information technology have historically had difficulty developing and preserving documentation, as well as communicating and monitoring standards. Therefore, if an urgent need or top necessity arises, we are more likely to look for new solutions as opposed to investigating and reusing capabilities that already exist. This method frequently results in redundant capabilities, solutions that are only partially built, and a growing amount of technical debt. The addition of a simple step to research internal solutions either before or as a part of the process of investigating new solutions is a discipline that has the potential to boost reuse. When people recommend new technologies, you should establish a procedure for evaluating improvements to existing platforms or integrating systems that have capabilities that are comparable to one another. Encourage a culture of using only one technology provider and one method. Have you ever overheard someone assert vehemently, "We're an X shop," to prevent further investigation, evaluation, or consideration of alternative vendors or technologies? To have standards and preferred providers is something else different. It is one thing to be uninformed about the capabilities of third parties. It is quite another to stifle the debate of alternate solutions. If you let the voices of a few powerful platform proponents drown out any attempts at inquiry and experimentation, you could end up making some expensive blunders. Those in positions of authority in the technology sector must address this cultural anti-pattern head-on, particularly if it prevents employees from asking questions or from challenging the status quo way of thinking. Assume that your only options are to create or buy. There is a significant amount of ambiguity that exists between developing solutions with bespoke code and purchasing software as a service, SaaS, or other technologies that offer out-of-the-box functionalities. In between are platforms with a great degree of configurability, including low-code and no-code options, prospects for commercial collaborations, and ways to exploit open-source technologies. Therefore, comparing whether to build or buy is an oversimplification. A better set of questions to ask is, if the necessary capabilities help differentiate the organization, and what kinds of solutions give more innovation and flexibility over the long term. Assume APIs meet integration needs. APIs and other integration options are offered by the vast majority of modern SaaS offerings and even by many enterprise-level software packages. However, cataloging integration hooks should only be the beginning of the research into whether or not they match the requirements of the business. What kinds of data are made available through the API? Is it possible to have the views and transactions that you want? Are there any technologies that make it simple to connect data visualization and machine learning? Is the performance of the API satisfactory, and are there any hidden costs associated with its usage that need to be taken into consideration? Utilizing low-code integration platforms and the aforementioned 3 methods for validating APIs are also approaches that can be taken to speed up inspections of integration capabilities. Fail to do social due diligence. When we are faced with a lengthy list of potential answers, relying on reliable information sources can help us restrict the playing field and make the decision-making process easier. Important phases in the learning process include perusing online content like blogs, white papers, reviews, and research reports, as well as watching webinars, keynote speeches, and online tutorials. However, utilizing social networks to consult with specialists is a tactic that is sometimes overlooked. IDG Tech Talk and #CIO Chat are 2 places to begin, and both of these events feature a large number of knowledgeable individuals who will offer suggestions and discuss potential alternatives. You can forego the proof of concept. The designing and carrying out of proof of concept solutions, PCS, that confirm assumptions and test for key strategic criteria is an essential part of the art, craft, and science of picking technologies. Even using agile spikes to examine third-party technology components can assist accelerate decision-making and minimize costly mistakes. Proofs of concept are especially useful when testing emerging technologies or evaluating SaaS platforms. It's possible that bypassing the POC is the largest error you can make. This could be because you believe what you've read, you trust the vendor, or you're under a lot of time pressure. Even if a proof of concept validates a technology, the lessons learned from the POC might still guide priorities toward viable implementations. Develop elaborate decision matrices. Creating a decision matrix spreadsheet is a typical strategy that can assist drive a data-driven choice. When multiple individuals are involved in assessing and evaluating new tools and technologies, this is because the spreadsheet organizes the information in a way that is easily digestible. A review committee will first assign relative importance to each feature and capability before giving their overall rating. The total scores can be found at the bottom of the spreadsheet. Unfortunately, these tools have the potential to swiftly spiral out of control when an excessive number of people are involved, when an excessive number of features are chosen, or when arbitrary weightings are assigned. When people spend too much time analyzing all of the bells and whistles, they wind up losing sight of what has to be examined strategically. This is because the spreadsheet ultimately prioritizes the preferences of its author. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.